Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G review. This is the new and most recent Samsung flagship phone, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G. That's a lot of names, aren't they? Well, even there's a lot in the name, there are less in the cost. Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is the same price with last year's offering, but with more increments and more storage. Well, still at the expensive price, but the latest of tech is always on the flagship's standard. Here we can experience new innovations, bleeding edge technology, and new features packed inside a mobile device. But is the Galaxy S21 Ultra have it? The famous top-of-the-line 120Hz and Quad HD Plus configuration on the display that last year's Galaxy S20 Ultra is missing, now on this successor. With an adaptive display feature that can go from 10Hz still frame to 120Hz smooth scrolling depending on the app's capability. It is now available in Quad HD Plus, the best of the best viewing experience while saving power. It also has a huge 6.9-inch display with 2x dynamic AMOLED, which lessens the harmful blue light emitted from the screen to reduce eye strain while giving the punchy colors. Not to mention, it now has an S Pen compatibility, so there's a ton of versatility in this flagship. And have you ever heard of the Gorilla Glass Victus? That's the newest, most recent glass protection to date, and sure thing that I don't see any problem in the screen anymore. But what else is Samsung's offering? Did they just add some numbers on the spec sheets? Well, all things considered, there are increments that are worth mentioning, like the larger ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, the laser autofocus for better focusing, and 12-bit HDR and 12-bit RAW photos for storing extra details in the pixels, which helps you boost or tone the colors in post. It still has wireless charging, tactile haptic feedback, IP68 dust and waterproof resistance, and stereo speakers. All of the flagship specs is always here, but for the most part, here are the things that I appreciate about the Galaxy S21 Ultra. The design is very pleasing. I really love the classy look, plus it has an aesthetic looking in this back frosted matte glass, or which Samsung called the Phantom Black. Even there are a wide variety of colors in this model, I will, in any case, pick this color variant because of that stylish looking color. Like the display, it has a Gorilla Glass Victus, albeit the camera bump isn't glass and it can easily scratch, particularly on the edges, and if that happens, it removes the aesthetic looking if you're not wary of the device. Camera bump, still wobbly, more wobbly, but they embraced it. It has a unique design and it feels big but premium. It has the latest chipset, the international version, Exynos 2100, 5nm, 5G. It supports Wi-Fi 6E, and so it is one of the most powerful chipset yet at this time. The scores on the benchmarks will vary on the configurations, build architecture, whether it has good components inside the device, and as well as the internal process, particularly the software that will run to this powerful machine. And speaking of software, I also love Samsung's environment. It runs the most recent Android 11 with One UI 3.1 on top. It has Bixby and you also get Google Assistant, but we know Bixby is a great companion. Yet, it actually relies upon your preference. It has the Samsung apps to stay connected and as well as the stock Google apps. Samsung's game launcher is one of the great companions in gaming, and the Galaxy Store offers more optimized apps for the specific Galaxy phone. These are all part of the ecosystem, and this environment offers more user/phone relationship. And that is the thing that I love about Samsung phones. Sure, there are drawbacks, and the real downside for me or feels lacking is the charging time. It has a 25 watts charging in a large 5000 mAh battery, and we know Samsung made their phone optimized in charging, yet it actually feels like a significant disadvantage for me. Unlike other phones that offer up to 65 watts that can be fully charged to just 30 minutes, Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra is double the time. It still is optimized, but it is not enough of my standard. So enough of all these offerings, let's go ahead to the main attraction of this device. Does the 108 megapixel lens really matter? Well, technically yes. Galaxy S21 Ultra uses a so-called nanobayer technology, which means the 108 megapixel will be divided by 9, so thus the output will be 12 megapixel. It consolidates 9 pixels into one brighter but less noisy pixel. As you can see, it is truly on par with the 108 megapixel output. Almost have similar gains, yet with more light and cleaner look. Add the night mode and the quality will be significant. What's impressive is the low light capability. Shooting with super low light with the Galaxy S21 Ultra, you might think yes, the image is so soft and it has a lot of processing here and there. But this is what it looks like without the night mode, and for the record, it is a handheld shot with simply a 3 to 5 seconds shooting time. We know for a fact that indoors there are a lot of artificial lighting, but outside we have an extremely incredible light source, the sun. Well, colors have extraordinary consistency, but the exposure has the only irregularity, obviously due to auto mode. Dynamic range is outstanding. This is a non-HDR photo and it has details even it is behind the light source. You won't see that there is processing that occurred in the photo, yet it already has some HDR processing even without HDR mode. Colors are true to life and sharp as well. 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens, however, is a downer at giving great quality at nighttime as it doesn't have any pixel binning technology, so it will have less light. And you will see processing aftermath here and there, but with fair lighting, particularly in the daytime, it has a decent quality. And the upside is, it has autofocus and it can shoot macro because of that. Now Galaxy S21 Ultra have a dual telephoto lens. One 10 megapixel 70mm telephoto and one 10 megapixel periscope telephoto lens with up to 240mm focal point. And this lens is the one that's taking care of the 100x zoom. These lenses gives you a lot of flexibility like the zoom lens of a DSLR. However, we know that smartphone lenses are more modest, so don't expect a lot about the quality that DSLR offers, but what's the best thing about the Galaxy S21 Ultra is that it has flexible shooting mode and features. Now I used to see other smartphones with periscope or zooming capability. I tried them. They have smooth zooming. However, the Galaxy S21 Ultra has a noticeable lens switch when you start to zoom in further. And I don't see any smoothness while trying the zoom slider. But is it a huge drawback? Well, for some it could be. But despite, here's what I like about the tele lenses. First, after you go 30x zoom, you'll begin to see a crosshair just like its predecessor. It will aid you to point to your desired subject, and thanks to stabilization or OIS, we get steady handheld shooting on distant subjects. And again, of course, 100x zoom is a digital zoom from 30x, but it still gives details as it has good processing. For the record, I'm not hyping the quality of the 100x zoom. I think they just put the best processing it could have in a smartphone. I think the 100x zoom is only a one-day experience. After you tried it and amazed with it, you will simply utilize it to capture the moon, and that's it. Well, 100x zoom is not the selling point for me, and I'll tell you more later. Switching to the selfie cam, Galaxy S21 Ultra has a large 40 megapixel quad bayer shooter with autofocus. Yep, that's right, it resembles the primary cam of mid-rangers and the quality is great. I don't have any problem with the selfie cam. Images are sharp and it actually has HDR processing even HDR mode is turned off. Live bokeh is likewise fine. The edges separated me nicely even at sunset and even with my face mask on. And thanks to quad bayer shooting, selfie without night mode is sharp, bright, and detailed. Now here's the thing, there are tons of camera features packed in the Galaxy S21 Ultra, like the hyperlapse, portrait video, super slow motion 720p at 960 fps, and slow motion of 1080p at 240 fps. And since the chipset is powerful, it can capture both front and rear cam simultaneously, and you can also switch lenses smoothly. How cool is that? And of course, it has Pro mode with, as I said, 12-bit RAW shooting for better dynamic range. But what I really love about the Galaxy S21 Ultra is it has a pro video with full manual control like a DSLR. They are really pushing boundaries. They push and push all necessary and useful features. The standard of filmmaking is here, 24 FPS packed inside a smartphone's camera. I think it is one of the selling points of this device. It has an option to choose frame rates from Full HD at 24 FPS up to 120 FPS. Quad HD or 4K with 60, 30 and also 24 FPS, and lastly the 8K at 24 FPS. As an aspiring videographer, it is a very cool feature for me. But a question, 8K downscale to 1080p versus DSLR with 1080p native resolution, what's the difference? Can you tell the difference? Well, of course, yes, the information that the DSLR can give, well, clearly is better, but Galaxy S21 Ultra is quite good at providing quality film too, thanks to the 8K 24 FPS. Heads up, if you will going to record lots of 8K footages, well, you might run out of storage. Remember, there is no expandable storage in the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, and also you need a better PC to edit the clip. Think about it, I only see it as a challenge as I can do plenty of things on my smartphone. This, folks, is the flagship standard. They know we are into the camera, we are into selfies, so they attempted to incorporate tons of features, fun, creative, and some helpful features inside this machine. That's what I'm impressed with its capabilities. So the camera department, it has great outputs. They have fixed what the predecessor left off, from autofocus to processing. However, if you're not going to maximize the potentiality of its camera, I suggest picking the Galaxy S21 over the Ultra variant instead. So to recap, this flagship phone, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G, offers an ultra experience. It's not the best of all time. It has drawbacks, yet has more potential, especially for creativity and entertainment. If case you're eyeing a flagship that can do almost everything, from zooming, featured packed cameras, splendid viewing experience, top-of-the-line performance, and excellent battery life, this can be your first or second choice on purchasing a new flagship device. But who knows, we are just exactly in the quarter of the year. We can see more flagships to come. However, the Galaxy S21 Ultra did start with a great standard in the year 2021. So this ends our review. If you like more of this type of content, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell icon for more upcoming reviews. Also, don't forget to visit manilashaker.com for more tech news, reviews, and comparison of the latest device. Once again, this is Aishaddle. Happy 100k subscribers. Till next time, mabuhay Manila.